There's a survey being conducted that's found that apparently 2/3 of Britons feel less proud of the UK than they did 5 years ago. Apparently also 68% of people feel that the UK is generally in decline. Cool, blimey. That's quite a high statistic, almost 70%. Really? I mean, I have to make this caveat. I've never been polled for anything in all my life, so I do always wonder, who are these people that get polled? But nonetheless, what do you make to that?
I think they're right. I think the country is in decline, and I think that's. I think it goes beyond party politics. I think it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You said Windsor. I think people go to their local high street. They see lots of empty shop fronts. There has been. I mean, crime generally is down, but violent crimes are up. There's a sense that the police aren't really visible anymore. I mean, the police certainly don't solve many crimes. Housing is very expensive. There's a sense, particularly even if you're doing well and you're in your 50s or 60s, you recognise that people in their 20s are going to struggle to get on the housing ladder, etc. Hard to start families. We know that because of falling birth rates. So I think there is a general sense that we're not quite in the place that we should be. And you might say, well, that's just natural, you know, glass half empty. I think it's more than that.
But nearly all of those were essentially financial.
Yeah.
And do you think that's what people base their pride on their nation off, the finances of that nation?
Not financial. I mean, High Streets is a great example. Where I live, on one of the roads there used to be a Debenhams on one side and a John Lewis on the other side. And it was just a place where people could be together. You know, you'd have older people, for instance, they might just go have a browse around, have a cup of coffee and see the world pass by. Those people now, some don't leave their house, right? You know, or they might just go to a Costa Coffee, not talk to anybody, go back again. So that sense of community and connection has, I think, over the last 15 years really disappeared to a significant extent. And people need that. And I think there's a recognition there that as a community, as a nation, something's not quite right.
Daniel?
Yeah, I think Aaron's got a point, actually. I think, you know, I don't think we're in decline, and I don't think people feel we're in decline, but we're in a period of great change. Economically, we've been at best flatlining. The economy hasn't grown. We haven't gone into recession, but we haven't grown. So it's been flatlining. And I think the government could do things about that, but it's chosen, you know, not to do, because it's focusing on getting the taxes and debt and borrowing right from its point of view. And they could do things about that. So I think the real question is, you know, where are we going from here? But the other question is, does that affect your sense of pride in your own country? And I'm not sure that, you know, although this article you've given us starts by telling us 2/3 are less proud, it doesn't. The article, that's the headline, the article doesn't say that. It doesn't say they're less proud of being British. I think people are still proud of being British, on the whole, and it's pretty positive. But we are in a period of change. It's a very difficult period. A lot of it's caused by inflation. The Bank of England let inflation get totally out of control. Nobody's holding them to account for that, and they're still not bringing it down. And until that's sorted, nothing is going to come right.